Donald Trump doesn't talk like normal politicians. He never did. He doesn't soften words, doesn't smooth edges, and doesn't pretend to be careful. Everything is the biggest, the worst, the greatest, the most unbelievable thing anyone has ever seen. That's his style. That's his weapon. He once said exaggeration is part of selling, and politics to him is selling on the loudest possible volume. Over the years, that's given us some unforgettable lines, some funny, some shocking, some that actually changed history. Today, we're breaking down the top 10 craziest Trump hyperboles, the moments where talk went way past reality and straight into legend. And stay till the end, because the Venezuela one isn't just talk anymore. Number 10. The Venezuela hyperbole. Trump has been calling Venezuela a total hellhole for years, but this is where his exaggeration crossed into something heavier. He framed the country as a failed state beyond saving, saying socialism destroyed everything: the economy, the oil industry, even daily life. Then came the bigger line that the United States could step in, take control of the oil, and run it better. It wasn't a detailed plan, just a power statement. The words "all options on the table" did the real work here. That phrase is classic Trump pressure. Vague, threatening, loud enough to scare enemies and excite supporters without locking him into specifics. To his base, it sounded like strength and order, America fixing chaos again. To critics and allies, it sounded reckless, like turning foreign policy into a real estate pitch. Venezuela became less a country and more a warning sign in Trump's language, a prop used to sell fear of socialism and justify dominance. Number 9. Mexico will pay for the wall. This is the line that launched everything. June 2015. Trump comes down the escalator and drops a promise so bold it sounds impossible. A massive wall on the southern border, and somehow Mexico is footing the bill. The brilliance of it wasn't policy. It was simplicity, no details, no footnotes, just a clean villain, a clean solution, and a clean win. Crowds loved it. Chanting started immediately. Build the wall became political culture overnight. Reality hit later. The wall got built in pieces, mostly replacing old fencing. The money came from U.S. taxpayers. Mexico never wrote a check. Trump later said they paid indirectly through trade deals, but even his allies struggled to explain how. Still, the hyperbole worked. It turned immigration into a visual symbol and turned Trump into a fighter. Even now, people argue about it, which means it did exactly what it was meant to do. Number 8. Windmills cause cancer. This one stopped people cold. At a fundraiser, Trump casually linked wind turbines to cancer. No studies, no names, just "they say." That's all he needed. The crowd laughed. Headlines exploded. Trump has always hated windmills. He thinks they're ugly. He thinks they ruin landscapes, and instead of keeping it at that, he went nuclear. Cancer, dead birds, dead whales, energy disaster. Science never backed any of it, not even close. But that didn't matter. The exaggeration turned a boring energy debate into culture war fuel. Wind wasn't just inefficient anymore, it was dangerous. To his supporters, it felt like someone finally saying what elites wouldn't. To critics, it was reckless nonsense. Either way, it stuck. That's the power of hyperbole done Trump style. Number 7. Biggest crowds in history. Trump measures love in crowd size, always has. Every rally, every speech, every appearance, he claims records. Bigger than Obama, bigger than MLK, bigger than anyone ever, even when photos clearly show otherwise. Why does this matter to him? Because crowds equal legitimacy. To Trump, numbers are proof that the people are with him. Cameras lie, he says, media lies, but his eyes don't. In reality, his rallies were big, just not historic, tens of thousands, not millions. But the exaggeration feeds the image of unstoppable momentum, and once supporters believe they're part of something massive, they act like it. Crowd size isn't about math, it's about myth. Number 6. Fake news enemy of the people. This line changed politics. Trump didn't just attack bad coverage, he attacked the institution itself. Reporters weren't wrong, they were enemies, liars, threats. Crowds ate it up, booing press pens became a ritual. Journalists needed security. Threats skyrocketed. Was it true? No. Was it effective? Absolutely. By turning the media into a villain, Trump insulated himself. Any negative story became proof of bias. Any investigation became a sabotage. It was a shield and a sword at the same time. This wasn't just exaggeration, it was escalation, and it permanently altered how millions of Americans see information. Number 5. Saved pre-existing conditions. This claim was pure reversal. Trump spent years trying to kill Obamacare. His administration supported lawsuits that would have wiped out protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Then suddenly, during debates, he said he saved them. To supporters, it sounded reassuring. Healthcare is scary. People want certainty. Trump gave it, even if it wasn't true. Courts, not Trump, preserved those protections. Congress never passed a replacement plan, but saying "I saved it" was easier than explaining policy failures. This hyperbole wasn't loud, it was smooth, and sometimes those are the most dangerous. Number 4, I alone can fix it. This line defined Trump's political identity. No team, no system, no patience, just one man standing between America and collapse. At the time, the country felt broken to many voters. Crime, terrorism, trade, trust in institutions was low. Trump didn't promise cooperation, he promised dominance. Of course, no president works alone. Courts blocked him, Congress slowed him, reality intervened. But the exaggeration built loyalty. People weren't voting for a platform, but they were voting for a rescuer. That mindset never really went away. Number 3, greatest jobs, president. Now we're into the heavy stuff. Trump didn't just promise jobs, he brought God into it. This wasn't economic growth, it was divine-level performance. When unemployment dropped before COVID, Trump took full credit. He ignored the long recovery that started years earlier. Every good number became proof of destiny. Then COVID hit, jobs vanished, and the claim got awkward. But he never backed off. Even losses became someone else's fault. This hyperbole worked because it wrapped faith, money, and pride into one sentence. It wasn't about data, it was about belief. Number 2, election stolen bigly. This is the most consequential hyperbole of them all. Trump didn't just claim fraud, he claimed the biggest fraud in history, a theft so massive it explained everything. Courts rejected it, audits debunked it, officials from both parties said no, but millions believed him. January 6th happened because exaggeration became conviction. Even years later, he still hints at it, still frames himself as wronged. This wasn't just talk. It reshaped democracy itself. Number 1, shithole countries. No filter, no cleanup, just a raw insult. When this leaked, the world reacted instantly. Allies were furious, critics called it racist. Trump didn't fully deny it. To supporters, it was brutal honesty. To others, it was disgraceful. Love him or hate him, Trump's hyperbole changed politics forever. Which one shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments, hit the like button and subscribe because this story isn't over. Thanks for watching.